Good morning, everyone. Today is April 7th. This is a garden update. I was supposed to make an update maybe a month ago, but I ran out of time and there was not much to report on, so I decided to wait a bit. Um, the last update was, I believe, at the end of February, and we started off with this garden bed. I planted some kale at the beginning of February as an experiment to see what would happen. I gave an update and that kale died out. I had hope, but it was just way too early. So that's a lesson learned. Zone 7A, do not plant anything kale related outside. It's way too early. So I went ahead and just to catch up, I have starts in the indoors, but they're a little behind where I would like them to be. So I went ahead and went to Lowe's and just picked up a few. I had to do it, but I have some lacinato kale. I have Swiss chard right here, some more lacinato kale, and then some curly dwarf kale here. I left, actually, I left this ornamental fringe kale from that very first video, and that had seemed to survive. So I guess there are some varieties that can push through. Otherwise, don't do it. But yeah, so that's what it's looking like so far. They're doing pretty okay. Like before, let's move on right next door. And these are the same onion plants that I had planted in that very first video back in February. Like reported in the follow-up video, onions perfectly fine to plant outside. It's very hardy. You can even see it's developing quite nicely. And don't mind the noise. We fixed our wind chimes, but yeah, so it's going pretty well. Like you can see, the stalks are getting thicker. It's really nice. So let's move on. So that's developing. Here, this is actually the same lettuce that I had planted in the very first video, and they're actually doing pretty well. As far as weather is concerned, it is 71 degrees outside. It's been around 70 to, yeah, around the 70s the last couple of days, so that's been pretty good for them. So I went ahead and planted some new broccoli in these spots. So that broccoli is doing pretty well. It's grown quite a bit since I planted it about 2 weeks ago. And same time that I planted all of these, I had bought broccoli and I had bought some kale and some red cabbage. I'll show you guys that later. But here's another broccoli, doing pretty well. Move to the side, we had more onion. This onion is doing pretty well as well. The kale that you guys saw from last season, I guess it was well established. I mean, not last season, but it is from last season. But from the last few videos, I guess it was well established enough to push on through, so it did not die. There was no shock to it. It started flowering, and I nipped off the buds and tried that out because I saw somebody online talk about that, and it actually tasted very similar to broccoli, so that was interesting. So looking forward to that. It had a really nice flavor to it. I guess because of the high amounts of sugar than it usually does because of the cold weather. Yeah, so we have Swiss chard here. I planted that recently. I had put in some seeds over here and they are sprouting up. This is red Chinese radish. I think that's what it's called. So that's growing. And I had started some peas inside, and here they are. They're growing. So we have the super snapdragon right there. I think these two are super snapdragon, and this is the green arrow pea. Oh, sorry, sugar snap pea, not sugar snap pea. That's a sugar snap pea. This is a green arrow pea. So is this one. So I have 4 of them at the end of this bed. I plan to put some string going across so they have something to grab onto with their tendrils. So looking forward to that developing. An update on the tulips. It's a big change. Once the temperature started heating up, the foliage emerged, and now we're at the point where you could see that the blossoms are starting to soon explode. So looking forward to that as well. Looking forward to everything, I guess. So yeah, so earlier today I had planted some cosmos. They're orange cosmos in between. They're supposed to bloom in the summer. So I just wanted to test that out to see if I could put some annuals in between there to fill up the space. Left this one alone because it's highly compacted. Look at this, very dense. Lots and lots of flowers going to emerge. Interested to see how that turns out. I had these crocuses. They looked like that at some point. I guess I'm not sure if they will rebloom, but they look nice when they were the first flowers to emerge. So we'll see how that turns out. You can see some's dying out, sadly. The spinach is doing really well. Like, I was actually able to clip some a couple days back. Pretty nice. The flavor is pretty good compared to what you get in the store, so maybe that's a bias, but I believe it. So spinach, doing really well. The onions that we planted back in February, in the beginning of February, they're still going strong, so that's a good sign. I think the video earlier, the previous video, I did not have anything in here. What I ended up doing was taking all of the perennial herbs and just sticking them in here and seeing how that will work. So this will be like an herb segment or section. So I have some mints. I just put in some, well, I put an annual, I put some coriander, cilantro in. We have Greek oregano, and this is, I'm not sure if this will survive, but this is lavender. And I think this little stick pile right here, there, is rosemary. So we'll see how those end up doing. If they don't do anything, I'll pull them out and put something else in. Alright, so let's continue. Apple tree that we built this around, starting to get some buds, like leaves coming in. Nice. Move on to this bed over here where I have the garlic. Update on the garlic. It's doing really well. If you look at the stalks, they're getting a lot thicker. It's cool. I showed you guys that I trimmed back this chive plant, and look at it again. This is only April and it's a lot. So I'm thinking if I chop it down again, it's gonna grow back. Sorry, if I chop it down again, it'll probably, sorry, my video cut off. It has a very nice garlicky flavor. Yeah, so if I chop it down, I might chop it down soon. Maybe that'll be in another update and you guys can see how long it takes for it to grow back, but pretty amazing. Okay, so let's move on. So I had planted some more sweet sugar snap peas. I made a bamboo trellis contraption here. Put these in about a week and a half ago. I was worried that they weren't emerging, and finally I see little sprouts. So I'm going to tie a string going around this so they have something to grab on, and I'll let these grow, and that'll be pretty interesting. Oh, I forgot in this back corner. We have blackberry, and this is a blackberry. I got it at the store, as you can see the tag. I put this in maybe January, maybe before that, maybe December. So it overwintered pretty much. Oh, wasp. And now it has leaves, so that's good. All right, so let's move on. As you can see also, I kind of did a little cleanup. So there's less leaves. What I'll do with the leaves is I'll pile them and I'll use that as compost. So they'll be like brown material. I have a bag of coffee grounds and some scraps from the kitchen that I'll incorporate. So we're here. Nothing is growing here, so I'm not too worried because eventually I'll have to put my eggplant in, and I have those started inside. So I'll have 3 plants of white eggplant planted on this end. We have more red Chinese radish growing in this spot right here. Some onion, doing pretty well. I scattered a seed packet called mesclun mix in this area, just in straight lines, because I want to try high intensity planting, just for the leaves. I watched M.I. Gardner. He had some method explaining this, so I want to try that out. I'm not even going to thin them. I'll see what survival of the fittest does, and we'll see how that goes. Earlier I talked about the red cabbage that's growing. That's Swiss chard. The leaves are looking very succulent. Yeah, and some more red cabbage. We have lacinato kale, curly kale, and more lacinato kale. So things are looking good in this bed. Hopefully it just sprouts up in the next few weeks. Our last frost date is next week, April 15th. So we'll see how that changes things. All right, so on this end, I have a red crimson radish. It sprouted finally. I planted this a while back, like back in February. I sowed all of the radish seeds and now they're just emerging. So April 15th, might as well have waited, but they're here. They're sprouting. Hopefully they'll be able to be harvested in the next month or so, but they're really tiny now. I had started some red candy beets. I think that's right, candy cane beets. Let's see, I think I have the tag. Candy cane beets, yeah. So I started them inside. I just put them right outside. I didn't even worry about hardening them off. Maybe that's another mistake I'm making, but that's what it is. So same thing. I planted the cabbage at the same time. Same thing with the Swiss chard right there. Those lettuce plants were here originally from February. They're still kind of small. No progress. This is the kale plant that overwintered. Like the other ones on the other side, it had some blossoms. I cut them off and I tried them and they tasted like broccoli. It's pretty good. Swiss chard here. I want to make sure I record most of these plants, so then if some huge plant emerges in another video that I follow up with, you're like, where did that come from? You know, at least you guys know. Tennis ball lettuce, it's making some progress. It's growing, along with some, I'm not sure where that seed is. I'll wait to find out. I think that's tennis ball lettuce, actually. I think that's supposed to be Swiss chard. We'll see. And we have French breakfast radish right here. Oh, actually, one of these spots should have, oh, okay, here, right in between, this should be watermelon radish. So I've never grown that. Yeah, so there, watermelon radish. There should be some scattered in this general area, so looking forward to that. No progress on the fig tree. I'll keep you guys updated. No new growth. Garlic is doing the same as it is on the other side. On the other end of over there. I planted bee balm. I didn't even harden this. I just planted it straight from what I started inside, and it's doing okay. I cannot say the same for this lavender. These were put out about 2.5 weeks ago. Looks like the lavender is kind of trying to survive, but you can see that it's gone limp on its main stem. So maybe a side shoot decided to emerge. so we'll see how that develops. Kale, lacinato, curly, lacinato, curly, lacinato. That's the pattern. And I sprinkled some lettuce seeds in this area about 2 weeks ago. They should have emerged by now. I'll give it another week. If I see nothing, I'll plant something else here in this spot. Eventually, this will be the space for my pepper plants, but that's to be continued. Nothing in that spot yet. I need to get on it because I'm wasting space. Bucket with cabbage. So that's going there. Chamomile plant, 2 chamomile plants. Mosh that I just transplanted from back there. I don't really care for it, but I just gave it a chance to do its thing. My chocolate ganache mint is being very invasive. It was a mistake as a first-time gardener to put this right in the ground, and now it's everywhere. It's surrounding this entire bed. Oh, but at least it will smell nice, right? It's even in the back corners. I don't know if it's going to compete with my other plants I plan to put down here, but at least it smells nice, right? All right, so hopefully that wasn't too boring, but that's my update so far. I think I showed you guys the blueberries. How much is going on? Oh, yeah, my potato died. It snowed and killed it. So yeah, I have to redo that. But hopefully my blueberries come to life. I think that's a sign of life. So yeah, I got 2, so they could fertilize each other. Yeah. I have mint growing in this one. I think mint growing in that one. 2 different types of mints. I put the coriander right here so it could just overflow. I don't know what I'm gonna put in that yet. Thank you guys for being my video diary. Oh, and I put that up finally for the birds. So hopefully they're happy. Yeah, so this is the update so far. It's a very long video. Sorry about that. Yeah, so hopefully by next video I'll have this put together, cleaned up. I'll probably have another compost bin going, 2 compost bins. I need to get on it. Add these coffee grounds, and yeah, thanks for watching. Look forward to the next video. See ya.